Hey, my name's Anna and I like to read, and in this video I'm going to be talking about 5 underrated books that I think more people should read. So the first book I want to talk about is The Art of Racing in the Rain, and this is written in a unique perspective because the main character is a dog and his name is Enzo, and he is telling the story. He tells his story from the beginning of his life all the way to the end, how he got adopted, about the family that adopts him. So this book was very well written, and it was interesting to get into the mind of a dog and to see how a dog would potentially think about everyday life. And it was a very unique and interesting perspective to read from because most books are not written from a dog's perspective. So overall, this was an interesting and a unique, well-written book. So I definitely recommend this book. The next book that I want to talk about is What You Left Behind, and this is about Ryden, who is a teen father and whose ex-girlfriend died from cancer because she wanted to give birth and she refused treatment for cancer because she wanted the baby to be healthy. So it is after her death that the book starts. So Ryden is trying to be a teen dad while also balancing his work and school responsibilities. And then he meets this new girl, Joni, in school, and they start hanging out and they form a friendship, and that eventually turns into a relationship. So I really love this book. I liked how the author portrayed grief and mourning, and I also liked how the author developed the relationship between Ryden and Joni, and also how the author used the dual timeline where Ryden reads Meg's diaries before her death, and we're able to see what happened before and how it connects to what is currently happening in the novel. And I really thought it was an interesting book overall. So I enjoyed how the author explored grief and mourning and built a relationship. I also liked how in this book, the main character is a teen dad and not a teen mom, which is usually the case for a YA novel. So overall, I really enjoyed this book. The next book that I want to talk about is How to Save a Life. So this is about Jill, whose dad recently died, and she is dealing with the aftermath and is grieving, and her mom decides that she wants to adopt a baby. And so Jill's mom finds this teen mom online who wants to give her baby up, and Jill's mom offers Mandy to pay for her to come to their house and live with them and to help her deliver the baby, and then she would adopt the baby. So I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was an excellent read because the author managed to show the two different perspectives from Jill and Mandy and how the two work together as characters and separately. I also enjoyed the commentary that this book gave on womanhood and motherhood, and how it also explored grief and friendship and the different types of friendship. So this is a book I wish more people knew about and read. So the next book that I want to talk about is Words on Bathroom Walls. So this follows Adam, who is schizophrenic, when he is told that there is an experimental drug that could help stop his visions. So he begins taking that drug, and then he meets a new girl in school and they start hanging out and becoming friends, and that then forms into a relationship, and Adam has to decide whether he can tell her about his schizophrenia or not. So overall, I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was well written, and I also thought that Adam was a well-developed character that was flawed but also an interesting character. I also enjoyed the familial relationships and the friendships that this book portrayed. I liked how family and friends were at the center of the story. I also liked how the author portrayed Adam and his struggle with his mental illness, but how it wasn't the only thing that defined him. So overall, I really enjoyed this book and I think that more people should read it. So the last book that I want to talk about is Bang. So this follows Sebastian, who accidentally killed his infant sister when he was a toddler himself because his dad left a gun unattended and he accidentally stepped on it and killed his sister. So it's 15 years later and he is now attending high school and he is kind of an outcast because everyone in his town knows what he did as a kid and he only has one friend. And then a new girl comes to town and he starts hanging out with her and they start making videos together, and Sebastian likes her, but he also has a plan to end everything. He thinks that getting a gun and ending everything is the solution to all of his problems. So I really like this book. I thought it explored and portrayed gun violence well, and that it also portrayed Sebastian's mental health well and his well-being and his interactions with his family and how all of that came together. And I also liked how this book portrayed xenophobia and how it tied in with the story as well. So overall, this was an interesting and thought-provoking book that also explored many important and tough topics and did an excellent job doing so. So those are the 5 books that I think are underrated and that more people should know about and should read. What books do you think are underrated or underhyped? Let me know down in the comments below, and if you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in another video soon.